Joshua!
Hey,
What's up, buddy?
How are you?
I'm doing good, my man. It has been a while to
Yeah,
see you again.
huh?
It has been a while to see you again.
Yeah, looking good, bro.
Yes, sir.
So what's up?
I was checking the camera. That's why I was waiting a little bit to all right, it's about 2 already.
Oh yeah.
Somehow the cable doesn't work right for the camera to link into the computer. So I gotta figure this one out quick.
Oh, I see, bro. So what's up? What you got me doing today?
First, I need to catch up with you.
Oh
to see
yeah.
what's up is going. What is the thing that you are working on right now that excite you?
Oh, I just got finished. We just played a concert today with Lamar Stringfield. It's like a music summer camp, and I was able to teach some kids how to play some music. And we did over 3 ensembles. It was like over 75 kids.
Ooh, that's a lot of
yeah.
kids.
I know, right? And I covered for a couple of ensembles and just some aftercare. Right now, I just finished an arrangement of a solo bass piece called Etude Number 11 by Xavier Foley. It's titled "The Singer." There's a lot of jazz elements, and it's amazing. I think I'll try my hand at it too.
Oh, so did you graduate with a master, or you graduate just with a bachelor?
I graduated bachelor, but I'm working on my master right now.
Oh, so you did go to school again for master?
Yeah, continue to go to school. Yeah.
So where did you go to school?
Oh, I go to School of the Arts. I still go to School of the Arts over there. We just
really? I didn't know that.
Studying with Jordan up there. He's a great Professor Bach if we're live.
Yeah. Gotcha. You are recorded. Gotcha. I set you up.
Hey, no, I'm gonna hear about that one.
That is hilarious. Gotcha. Man.
So I'm pursuing my master's right now, and then what's after that is a postgraduate degree. I'm applying for a couple of schools already.
Oh, so you do wish to pursue up to PhD?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a doctor's.
Yes, sir. So I can call you Dr. Forbes.
Yeah,
Dr. Forbes. For real. How long would it take you to get the PhD?
Well, for this next degree, it's going to be about 2-ish years, 1 to 2 years, and then the next one will be maybe somewhere between 3 and 4 to get that PhD. So
3 and 4.
3 or 4.
Oh my lord! So all undergrad all over again.
Yeah. All of it, half of it's spent writing a paper, and I think the other half is just purely education based and performance, right? So it's 4 or 5 years.
Okay. Yeah. I understand that we're still on the master level, but when you go to doctorate degree, you have to defend your thesis to be able to graduate. So what do you see right now in the world of music that you're going to talk about that's going to make you a person that deserves to earn the doctorate degree? I discovered this and I defend it and it's right.
Well, I don't know. That's definitely a topic for down the line. But I have an idea. Of musical techniques such as arranging and composing and the importance of it in our society, and basically why we do the things that we do is sort of what interests me. Maybe I can take a look into music, like well-known music that has been out for a while that's maybe not classical music, and see how they've been so relevant. That could be a thing, or maybe taking a peek into music therapy, or how music can support multiple different things for multiple different people, like emotions and also triggering memory. There's tons of studies about how music is directly connected to the memory and how the mind can often trigger things based off of hearing a familiar tune. So that's also something that interests me,
So how does this kid approach you? What I mean by that is, how do they know about the camp and why do they come to the camp?
Well, I mean, It's first of all, it's in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. So everybody who wants to go to see Mr. Forbes to learn viola, you can come to that camp in Raleigh.
Yeah, it's a small plug, right? It's in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's only about 2 weeks. It's in June, like the latter half of June. I think applications open up in July. The parents who are in the area know much about the camp. There's a social media that's been started about the camp, from what I know, and it's pretty much spread kind of word of mouth. Like,
Okay.
I guess also podcasts like this would definitely help when it comes to making things like that an initiative. And they come very willing to learn about, because there's multiple classes. There's not just performance. There's music theory and there's also music history, and we also have technique class, which is something that we do to learn how to better use and facilitate our instruments. Right. An example of that is they were covering in their technique classes. They were kind of covering different aspects of where you can place the bow. Like, you can place the bow towards the fingerboard, or close to the frog for a scratchy sound, or the fingerboard for a lighter sound. Like, different varying things for like staccato and rhythms, and basically anything that you can think about in music. Oh, it's a little bit slow. Okay.
I lose you for a second. Yep, I got you. I
am back. Yeah, so I mean, the reason why they come to this camp is so that way they can learn and expand their brains when it comes to music. It's really about, and another thing about that is also fostering connections with people.
Okay.
Hold on. It says I lost. Okay, I'm back. I'm here.
Yeah, I'm back.
Especially with is going to be the greatest gift for your future. You know what I mean? Apart from learning music itself, because these people call back. For example, the reason why I even know about this place is because my friend Sophie Lyman, who's the assistant director of the program, she reached out to me. She went to school with us in undergrad. Right?
Really?
Yeah. So she reached out to me about the gig. I was like, "That's cool." So.
I was losing you just like at the starting of your statement. I have the middle and the ending of your statement. I was trying to put things together on the why you are there and the benefit of the kids when they go there and see you besides learning the music. I was missing the part of the connection part, like the connection to get out of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me retrace what I said. Well, I mean, they learn about the camp just based off of the area and podcasts and word of mouth, and then they also go into sort of like the camp, the connection between the camp and the counselors and whatnot is that we learn about it, and we also get the ability to teach, and we get the ability to play in these ensembles and meet new musicians, right? So that's awesome. And they get so much fundamentals out of this camp, like music theory and music history, and also technique, which ranges from how you play your instrument to the facility setup and literally everything imaginable about a string instrument you get to learn. It's a really good place to just meet people, like the connections you make in that camp. For the counselors, or something like me, so I'm so far removed from for some of them in age, that it would be years before I see them like again, but them just knowing that there is a violist out there is also really important for them. It's inspiring for them, like to be able to play. Because we've as counselors, we also had to do like a counselor concert after, like during the week after they did a chamber music ensemble thing. We did a one piece, and then like some skits, so they could hear us play, they could be entertained and have fun, and it was just like a blast. So it's really good. They get like a whole experience.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
All these kids are privileges, like they come from good established family or wealthy family where they already have some training in their hands.
Well, it definitely does have an experience. thing, experience cap, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you, I mean, I'm pretty sure you have to have it. You have to at least have an instrument
Mm-hmm.
and be willing to learn. And you have to fall. I think you have to fall between the ranges of the ages of like, I don't know if it's like 6 to like 18 before it becomes like, okay, this is a little bit too much. But I don't think that not all the families that we saw were super privileged. I mean, they were in the field of music, right? So I think it's definitely a camp that is for all, and I think they also make some accommodations there. They're really friendly over there, so I wouldn't put it past them to make accommodations for people.
How do they view music? Do they view music as hobby or they view music like a sport? Like their kid learn soccer in school or football in school that they can actually taking this seriously, after school or stuff like that.
Well, I can't speak for what the parents have to say, but on the teaching side, or the we see the students' dedication to their education. You know, the dedication to coming to camp every morning and getting their music out and getting ready to play. We see that as like they're here more than just watching me until my parents come home.
You
Yeah,
babysitter.
you know what I mean. They're here for more than that. They're here for a transformative experience, and it's something that the parents can hopefully they see from their children, right? So they're putting their kid through this camp, like time and effort and energy and money, resources, to see them perform as the great artist that they want to be, regardless of music, regardless of it, this way of music is their way of making it in the world, or if music is something that they want to pursue at all. But the point is to really create the artist and to facilitate that. And I think that's something that Lamar does well for a 2 week camp, right? A lot for those kids. I mean, and the music that they chose this time was particularly interesting. It was not something, it's not totally just like pop music and just
They're gonna play Sabrina Carpenter on the viola.
I know, right? Like imagine like a whole ensemble of strings playing Sabrina Carpenter for like a week.
That's right. Like I feel like we should tell the audience so they know the truth about being a musician, because when it comes to music, people often think us as naturally gifted. Like you either good at music or you have no talent at all in music. You can't even play. But it's not true, because under our graduate training, we basically train like an athlete.
Yeah.
We put in the hour, we play with the instrument, we're learning about music theory and how to apply the science behind all the notes, and then we have to learn about Alexander technique, which we learn about our body, how to put things together, how to control ourselves when we're on stage. It's basically like a football player training everything from the body to the mind to the field.
It's interesting that you say that. There's a book that's out right now. It's called The Inner Game of Tennis. Maybe I'll send it your way afterwards.
Yes, sir.
It's essentially there's a lot of things. It talks a lot about controlling the body, controlling the mind, a lot of things about performance and the aspect of the mental games, mental mind games, if you've ever heard it be called like that. Like, oh, I played this F sharp out of tune. Will people like care? You know, that type of stuff, like the postludes and the preludes of all that. And then you're right, it's like our undergraduate training basically like set us at ground zero with everybody. It's like everybody was kind of reset, unless you were like a wicked genius in music theory or something like that, started out at the basic level and then they brought everybody up, and then your job as a student was to facilitate your own learning, was to read after school, was to study after school, practice and perform, find opportunities to make it really work for you, because you can make school work for you in that way.
Do you believe that musician is actually more important right now, as live musician is more important than ever? Because not a lot of pop artists can play like a classical trained artist can do.
I think it's important. It's definitely important to have live music now, about the things that you said, and about a couple of other things, like just like the realm of music itself is really important to society. Like that's how we can communicate across the world. Also, that's how we can communicate with people, through sharing our emotions through a piece, or sharing what we feel with an audience. I think it's that music serves as a connector of all from all different walks of life, not even just the most common ones that we see. Um, I think how the music, the connection of music has the power to influence and change people's perspectives, and also has the power and influence to change just general people's lives. You can be happier after hearing some Vivaldi, or you can be really upset after hearing some, I don't know, Schnitka, if you've heard about it. Like now these days there are a lot more performances happening now than ever, with all this music that's being generated. I mean, also with the new production of AI, artificial intelligence, and like how it creates music versus how the regular performer would create music, because there's certain things that don't really line up between the two.
So what are those things that you're thinking about?
Well, it's more like when you're talking about performance specifically, it's like the aspect of the human experience is something that's really important. As the composer itself, is their job to kind of facilitate that experience for their audience. And it's something that I think that AI can't really do off the page. You know what I mean? Like artificial intelligence will always be like, now it's introduced into our world. It's been there for a long time. It's Google, right? You know what I mean? Pulling resources, but now it's actually like sprouting legs and walking, kind of like at this moment. So it's going to be drawing from resources still and creating things, but I feel like it'll be a long time before it will try and develop and imitate like real music.
Because to add more onto that perspective, I love that, because I want to drill more into that, because that is our future. That's like right the corner. It's coming up really close. So right now, I'm using ChatGPT. Like you and I, when we were back in school, that is like the early days of ChatGPT. I did use some of it on my test, so I know.
Okay, it's okay. I know some people who've done much more ChatGPT. Yeah.
That's right. But ChatGPT, I feel like the only reason that ChatGPT or many AI language model cannot write music that sound like human just yet is because they don't have a pair of eyes and they don't have a pair of ears.
Yeah.
If they can see how we play and they can hear how we play and then use all the data that they have in their brain. So basically right now we train the model to become composer, but have not trained them to become performers.
Yeah, I mean my question to you is, do you think, well, what you're saying is that AI has a brain. If AI had eyes and ears, it would be able to replicate and see a performer. But do you think it will still do you think there's more to music than just the notes and just the feelings and rhythms and whatnot?
Yes, you start asking right question. Yes, sir.
Question. That's really the question. It's
so let me expand on that one. This is the gold nugget of this conversation about AI that everybody is talking about. I think it's go back to this perspective. Do you view music as a still entity or a living entity?
I find music to be ever evolving. Like it changes per artist. Like every time somebody has a different interpretation or a different feeling about what music means to them, and also what it has done for them. Like I think music itself is, I don't think I would call it a living entity, but I think it's a transformative one at that moment. You know what I mean? So everybody's like, okay, so you have your Beethovens, and you have your Bachs, and then you have your Chopins, you have your Liszt's, you have your, and then you have your modern days, you have your Travis Scotts, you have your, I don't know, some other people. I'm just Sabrina Carpenter, right? You have your carpenters, you have your like, right? But those types of people, they all have their own interpretation of what sound and what music is and what quality it has and the effect on their life. So it transforms their thinking, it transforms their experiences, and it transforms their way of interpretation. So I think that that's something that AI doesn't have its own experience yet. Right?
Very good debate.
Yeah.
You ever heard the word producer or beat maker? Like people that professionally make beats.
Yeah.
So recently I go down a rabbit hole of studying music industry on how pop star like Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry have their song done. How do they write their song? And how do they produce their song? So when you're thinking about Bach, Liszt, Chopin, Mozart, they are a one-of-one composition and it's done by one composer. If you go to Spotify right now, click on any of the top 100 pop songs and go to the credit, you will see at least 8 composer and songwriter on that song. 3 minutes. 3 minutes of music. 8 composers. So when you're thinking about it, this is not an original work of one mind.
Yeah.
This is a Frankenstein of 8 composer.
For real, 8 composers.
That's right. So it's not really a one piece of thought. Because back then, when Mozart write a piece or write a opera, he have to visualize the whole story through from A to Z. From the guy meet the girl, the dad not approve, he kills the dad, drama happen, everything to write the whole 3 hours with the music. But now, that's why I'm asking you, do you believe music is a living entity or a still entity? Is because record labels and professional, when it comes to creating a product, music is just commodity. It's not really anything else besides creating something that actually can sell. If you write a piece of music and you cannot sell it, if it's not a hit, then no one will write that song.
Literally.
But when Mozart write the opera, he does not care it's going to be a hit or not. He's just writing it because he believes it will change someone's life. And it's good as it is.
Definitely. Yeah. Oof. Well, there's too many people writing that music. I think it's great. I mean, it's still a good thing. Like they still come together to culminate making that experience, right? For somebody. It's just that the method and the means now, I can see where you feel like it would feel a little bit AI integrated. Like that could be a main component in the future. Like maybe Kendrick Lamar's 808s aren't really his anymore.
No, not really. And that's another thing. All music production right now, pop songs, are produced by samples.
Yeah.
So it's not really live sound. Everything is AI. Everything is mixtape. Everything is previously recorded and then remixing. So it's not really original sound anymore. And however, it provides convenience to the producer, to the beat maker, where they just pull out the library and they just plug it in as they write. Very quick, very efficient.
Yeah.
But it's lose. I think what you love is the essence of performing, the essence of time, the essence of place, the essence of the people around that music. When you hear a recording of an orchestra and you listen to that music and you close your eyes, you can feel like Chopin is sitting in a room playing for a group of 40 people. You can feel the intimacy of that piece. On the view, the air, the smell, the water, the grapes on the table, you can see it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to pop music, even though it sounds very rocking, like you bop your head like to the 808, but you cannot really vision what is the time and space where this music exists.
Yeah, exactly.
It just lives in its own world. Like it's not belong in the real world. It's a fantasy world that music is living in.
Are you trying to say that pop music itself is a byproduct of the world today and it shouldn't exist, or it doesn't belong in this space?
It should exist because it's like you say, it's a byproduct.
Yeah.
Which means we as human, we are doing something in the real world that causing this to happen, but fail to recognize.
Definitely.
We upset about the way music turned out. But when was the last time we upset about our behaviors?
That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about. This podcast is about to change people's whole perspective on music.
Yes, Lord. I just listened to one of my favorite singers, Carly Rae Jepsen. She's a pop singer. Call Me Maybe to Call Me Maybe. You know? I love it. I love her. 100% pop song. 100% sample. But it feels so good. However, here's why I believe that music feels so intimate. Because back in the 2000s, that music was played everywhere.
Yeah.
On the beach, in the clubs, the way people dress, the way people talk. It was alive.
Yeah.
Right now, with the advancement of recording, we are creating multiple fantasy worlds, including me, that have not exist in the real world. And every artist right now trying so hard to sell that fantasy to everyone. That's why you see multiple people dressed differently. If you listen to rap music, you might wearing a big chains and drag your pants down walking around. If you listen to classical music, you might put on a suit like I am back in the time and still do. So right now, it's more about if you like something, you will be in that world. So no segregation, but there's separation.
Definitely.
A cult. You know, you're in a different cult.
I don't know if music is a cult, but yeah, I get it. I get it. People do follow things kind of cultishly, like the Swifties. Have you ever heard of those?
Yo, I will buy that ticket. I will spend all my saving on that $3,000 ticket.
Wow, that's great. What an experience.
But why is it that we willing to do such things? Like, I'm always curious about that. $3,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
And why are we spending that much money on a person that we don't know? We just know through the internet and her music. We don't know her as a person.
Yeah.
We just get some kind of effects from her music that make us feel good. But then we're willing to alter our chemistry in spending that much money on a person. Why is that?
Well, I think it has something to do with the way that her music is constructed. It might be different, but the result is the relatability. I find that in Taylor Swift's music, speaking specifically about Taylor Swift, I don't listen to Taylor Swift, but when I hear people talk about Taylor Swift, they're like, oh, he talks about that her ex, and it made me think about the stuff that happened with my ex, and it that feeling of connection from a distance, right? It's like the way that her music is portrayed and the type of people it affects. It draws that person. It draws them to that person to want to see them in their performances. And also, I believe if you have to pay $3,000 to go listen to somebody, there's an experience that has to be attached to it. There's got to be something that happens at that event to make you want to spend $3,000. Maybe she's like signing record labels. Or maybe she's like, or maybe there's like a T-shirt cannon or a mascot. I don't know. Just like as a classical musician, I can't fathom why you would go to another performance if it wasn't for an experience in music. You know, if you pay that for it, there has to be something else that goes on there. You know what I mean?
Okay. So do you think music itself worth that much money as a professional musician? Would you spend that much money just to go and listen? Nothing attached, just music.
Just to listen to music.
Just to listen to music. The art itself.
Question is music easily accessible?
Yes, music is very easily accessible.
Okay, no, I mean like if we're gonna if to put it into the perspective of if I would spend $3,000
Hmm.
on it, I would have to know one is the music that I like easily accessible, and do I have it at home? And then number two is, am I able to kind of am I working in music? Like that's another thing. It's like I wouldn't spend $3,000 just to go listen to music that I'm not interested in, but
Hmm.
also go listen to music if I have music elsewhere for free. I'm gonna free then spend. I mean, if this is like, let's say it's like summer solstice or like winter solstice, so one time happening in the year that I can go and listen to music. There is a ton of songs, a ton of artists. There's things. Just the music itself is
Hmm.
something that's so far removed from society.
Mm.
And it only happens once a year. I would probably go once or
Okay.
twice. You know what I mean? In my life, oh, $3,000 is a lot of money, but in order to experience something that is, I mean, I think that might also be what people think about Taylor Swift's music. You know, or
Mm.
all of these artists' music who charge like over $500 for a concert,
Hmm.
right? Because I mean, you're going for their experience. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You wouldn't be able to get like you wouldn't get Taylor Swift's experience at a Travis Scott concert,
No.
right?
No.
Totally different things, right?
Hmm.
So maybe that's also why, like, the experience of being a Swiftie, like,
I
is
feel so
very,
guilty. Hey, I love her music. I love her music.
maybe
Just
like
say it on the air.
yeah. There's some tunes that are really catchy. There's some
Hmm.
tunes I don't know them by name. I don't know all of them. So,
I mean, the thing is about that just make us a very clear point about music, and I think this is said by the man that sing for Black Eyed Peas, Williams.
yeah,
Yep. If you know him, like the guy that sing right at the front,
yeah,
he said that music was always sell with something, go with it. Music
yeah,
was never sell by itself. Back then, when music first, created by the Western society, it was attached to party. It was attached to meeting. It was attached to opera house and theater. So music exists inside of that product.
yeah.
And then music evolved, become recorded music. So music exists inside of the CD, of the vinyl, and now it's belong on the internet.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
our next market that's coming up right now that you and I just talked for 15 minutes, point out the obvious, is that now music belongs to world vision. Music live inside of an artist's vision of a lifestyle that he wants you to live or to experience when you go to her concert or his concert. And that is exactly what I'm doing too, is I'm creating right now, instead of just write music for the sake of writing music, I cannot compete with AI on that market in the next 5 years. AI can write 1 million songs in 5 seconds. It took me at least 2 weeks to write a song. There's no way I can compete with such a machine. The only thing that AI cannot replace us yet, like I said, AI don't have the eyes and the ear in the real world.
Definitely. Yeah.
So we write music and we observing the world at the same time. So our music can reflect the real time and also pushing humanity forward into a better future, to a future that have not exist yet, but exists through an artist's vision.
Yeah. Definitely.
So that's why on the market right now, you see all artists live in their own world. Some very successful, some not really. And I truly just see it in the professional standpoint is the way that they deliver is they created that world, the vision they try to communicate is if they do their homework good and if they know how to use the machine well to deliver the message that they want to say to people,
Yeah.
then that message will get heard.
Yeah, it's gonna get out there.
That's right. But the message has to be good, because you can proudly listen to Bruno Mars in the car with your parents.
Mm-hmm.
But if you turn on Sexy Red and listen in the car with your parents, you will feel ashamed to listen to that music. You see what I'm saying? The music is good, but the message is not good. That's why you don't feel comfortable listen to that music around people that you respect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's all about the promotion, and I think what you said was really great about, you know, like using the tools. Because I mean, all these nowadays they have all these Instagram reels and all of social media that allows you to push your content further to people that you probably wouldn't ever know.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like people all the way in like Bangladesh or something like that. People in Turkey, I would probably find your reel through some grapevine of, what is it? The algorithm. It's the algorithm, and it's like the way that they use tools to send their music out is very impressive, and it's informative really about what people's interests are and how that works. And especially there's also a right time and a right setting, right? So yeah, you're right. You wouldn't listen to Sexy Red with your parents in the car. I don't think anybody would want. That's hard. You know what I mean?
Maybe Sexy Red and Bruno Mars song together. They have one song together.
I mean, it's like the like you said, the message is for different audiences, right? Like I think a musician, when they receive a song or when they make a song, like they immediately, the first thing you want to know is, what audience is this one going to? Like, is this able to be played anywhere, and who am I looking for to play it for? You know what I mean? Could be like the person in the coffee shop who's reading the book, or it could be the person down the street who's like destroying a trash can. Like those like metal, like those really anarchy songs, or like riot songs, or something like that, or just something chill, or maybe it's for the club. You have to know the audience before you make it. And
do you believe in the music? Because that's the thing that people don't understand, is they often believe in the music but don't believe in the artist. I believe in the artist.
Yeah.
The artist can write a professional, best looking sounding song. But if I'm looking at him or her and I don't see him or her living what they are writing, I will take less of a respect for that artist.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
I think that's the pitfall with ghostwriters, right? Because I mean, I don't know how that side works. It might be like the artist itself has the idea, and it tells their ghostwriters to write about it. That could be the way. So that way, the connection is they're living out the experience, what they're writing about in their songs. But I also know there's a couple of artists out there that write it, and then it's like, no, I'm not in the streets. Like I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? There are some people who do that. There's credibility that goes into all of that, and then there's some people that don't. For me, I believe in I mean, on a personal level, like to believe whether the artist lives out what they're talking about in comparison to music. I think it might be a little bit swayed or unfair, because they could be singing about a life, like a previous life experience, or they could be singing about something that didn't happen to them. They might have heard it. You know what I mean? So I mean, I believe the music more than the artist, right? I believe the music itself. There's a reason why somebody put that song out there, right? They didn't put it out there just to have it, right? Not like there's a reason why somebody wrote that their cat went missing 3 weeks ago, and they have a really sad song about their cat. That doesn't mean, that could be like their neighbor experienced that their cat was missing and they're reflecting about it, or they're reflecting about something else. It could trigger things within the mind. It could be, the cat could be a metaphor for something we wouldn't know, right? Unless you dig deeper within the song. So the music itself holds a lot of clues about the artist, but sometimes it could be just like dreams, right? The subconscious thoughts that come from a dream could be connected to you or not, right? You could have a dream about a shark driving a taxi eating a hot dog, or you could have a prophetic dream about, like a music career that goes either positively or south. You know what I mean? And it can tell you a lot about what you're thinking about it, or possibly what you feel about it.
Do you live out the way that you have your professional life and you have your personal life? Like there is Joshua Forbes on stage, and there is Joshua Forbes right now with me.
Yeah, you're asking me, is there a difference between whether I like to say no, because I think the best thing about a performer is authenticity, right? It's like when it's like this person that you see on stage is, if there's someone who's like a bubbly personality and totally just like within the music and themselves, like on the performance, it'd be so exciting if that person was actually like that in real life. There's some people flip a switch. I'm not one of those people. I'm the type of person who's like, I'm in the books, I'm reading, I'm practicing, I'm studying, I'm loving music, and then I share it with people on the stage. Like the connection is, the stuff I do at home is connected to the stuff that happens in the music on stage, right? It's like there are emotions, there are thoughts, there are tons of things that go into preparing a piece of music for stage, but also you have to prepare yourself with how you want to present your image. For me, it's I like to wear cool shirts. I wear cool shirts all the time. I'm always wearing a button up sometimes. You know what I mean?
Me too. Except today because I am at home. That's why I'm wearing this.
It's what you do in the daily. It affects what you love, And if you love music, I don't think you can hide yourself from it. It's kind of impossible. You can't separate music at that point, right?
Oh wow, that's profound. If you like music, you cannot hide yourself away from it.
Yeah, you can't hide yourself in the moment. Like, oh, you're just like, this passage is just so, oh, I love it. And it's like, okay, I'm really going to play it. Like, you're gonna psych yourself into that practice. You're gonna psych yourself out of practice mode and sort of into that really love music mode, and you're just gonna go for it. There's no like thinking about it. Like, prior example was what, like I said, at this camp that I did, that I worked at, we did a Beethoven, I think it was Quartet number 6, the really famous one. We did the first movement of it. It's just like, the beginning is just so like dramatic and intense and intensifying. I'm just like, at the moment, I'm not even thinking about like, oh, the ensemble's doing this, the ensemble's doing that. It's just like, at that moment, I'm just thinking, music is so good, and like ensemble, like whatever, but I'm loving this, so we just get into it more, and that's the vibe that gets passed around the stage. It develops the entire room. In fact, it's like everybody's honed in to your, they understand. It's like a connection that you make with the audience. It's like they understand and they see how you react to music. And that's how you are all the time. So it's awesome.
Do you feel like we almost like a chemist that change people how they feel immediately the moment they hear the notes coming out of our hand?
Well, I mean, that's like for a first impressions basis, like just impressions in general makes people can change literally how they're feeling in a second, right? I don't know if I'd say chemist, more like I don't know. Chemist sounds good though. That's like, there's like to be a chemist, there's tons of chemicals that you know, and you put things together to make things, right? Yeah,
you can say that. You practice, you study to prepare for this moment. You not just show up on stage and I'm gonna sight read this music. God bless me, what happened?
Yeah, you pour a lot of. I think it's more like baking.
You are cook. I'm cooking.
Yeah, you cooking. You're really cooking.
That's right. I'm really cooking.
That's why I say it's a little bit different from chemistry, because there's a lot of things that go into making a cake, right? There's the flour, there's the eggs, there's the milk. I mean, then you have to do the icing. You have to worry about like the presentation. But all of that is like culminated together. If you think about that is the music and you're the baker, you're the artist, all of that is culminated by love and passion.
Correct.
Right? And that's how you make a cake taste real good.
That's
like,
right.
Have you ever had those store-bought cakes? Sometimes
they are boring.
They don't taste good.
That's right.
That means they're getting paid to make it right. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But if it's like, okay, well, that's different. If you're thinking like a Harris Teeter, right? Like
Harris Teeter versus Walmart cake.
There's a difference, but if you're going from like culinary school, right? Like the tops of baking industries, right? I mean, you're baking for a purpose, right? That's where you go. Like, I don't think anybody wanted to be a Harris Teeter baker. Like, really, thumbs up. You know what I mean?
I do believe that is the level that all musicians try to be, besides just get paid to play the music on the sheet.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm seeing, the missing opportunity, and I'm yelling this on top of my lungs to all my musicians, to myself, and to all the audience to understand. This is still a missing piece in our industry that I am working on right now to deliver it to the customer. Is this music by itself is already an amazing, powerful form of art. It kicks and it punches in your gut the moment you see it, the moment you hear it. It drives your brain chemistry crazy. However, based on our science, the science of the human body, our thinking, our feeling drive our action, right? So when it comes to music, I'm already spending an hour and a half making you feel some way. It would be a waste to not make you do something. How many people listen to riot music and they do not go riot? They see, you see what I'm saying? Like the artist, I'm making this song in the purpose of I want you to listen to this. Take out your hair tie, throw your head around, and go riot. That's what I want you to do.
Yeah. Another question, I guess the question for you would be like, do you think that the artists of this generation or the next, the people that come up in music, is it their responsibility to facilitate a specific message, right?
Yes.
Is there bound for like, okay, maybe not like throwing TVs in the street or something like that, or objectifying bodies or something like that? There's like a real purpose, right? Do you think it's their responsibility to foster and facilitate a good message?
Yes.
You know
Both good and bad. It's more about right now, our generation and our next generation after we're done in 20 years, when you and me are 40 and we're at home watching TV and eating peach cobbler.
Chilling out, for real.
That's right. In the summer, I'm calling you over. We're cooking barbecue. That's what we're going to do after we retire from music. But the real job of an artist of this generation and next generation is actually making art that move the needle. Making art that change the state of the economy. Making art that liberate a country. Making art that change a generational curse. Making art that bring more privileges to people that have been oppressed.
Of course, yeah.
So those are going to be the real purpose of why we writing music as human written music. Because in a few years, like we said, there's going to be another genre of music that is made by an entity that is a machine. So for us to separate ourselves in the market is the question of what kind of impact do you actually do at the end of the day when people go to your show. It's not about I come to your show because I need to listen to music or I want to listen to music. Because music is available everywhere now. You can even listen to it for free on YouTube as long as you have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not really about the tool. Music is the tool. Music is not the message. The message is the artist.
Yeah.
Everybody can play music. But not everybody can have the vision of the artist.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like for us, is what is our message? What is the thing that we're trying to say to the audience to create that world? And to rate either that is a quality thought or not, to me, I'm measuring it by if you say the world is X, Y, and Z. Are you going to live in that world with me? If that vision come true. Or you just gonna run away from that mess that you create and live in another planet. Because that's what most artists are doing nowadays. They saying a certain thing on the internet, and then in real life, they buy an island somewhere in Bahamas and then live a separate life. I'm saying that's not really what you're trying to say. You're just saying it because someone is paying you to do that.
Literally.
It's kind of like the cake. The cake.
Just like people were saying, like with the, have you heard that drama with the Switch 2, Nintendo Switch 2? It came out like $500.
$500 and $80 per game for Mario Kart.
Yeah, I know, right? And people are like, oh, I'm not gonna get it. I don't need it. And then they shill and they buy it anyways. They're like saying, oh, it's too overpriced anyways and all that stuff. And I know a couple friends who've said that, and they did it anyways. Get the Switch 2 because it's the new console. It's like, okay, if you're gonna live in a life where you want the console, just say you're gonna get it. I mean, you're gonna waste people's energy and time doing things like that. And the same thing can be said about artists. I mean, if you're repping a certain flag and you're not serving that flag, right? What does that say about you as a person?
That's right. You're just doing it like to make fame.
Exactly. And I think that's what's happening. Like you said, that's something that's very prevalent in the world today. And we'll have to know. Only time will be able to tell. But me personally, I feel like there's no way it'll keep up. You know what I mean? Like that type of music, it sells in only certain specific areas, and those areas more and more are getting like less attracted to that type of music, right? I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift lives out her songs, right? So
I don't know. I'm not know her yet. I got to go to Nashville and talk to her.
Yeah. Nashville, you talk to Taylor Swift, maybe she's like, yeah, I've had experiences with these people, and I've lived out life in order to make this music, and that's why she's able to stay around.
Correct.
A figure, you know what I mean?
And that's how I feel is so good when it comes to our job, that I have an opportunity that if I do my job well, I will have an access to talk to people with such fame and power in the world, like in real world. They can command millions of people with just a post. But right now, I understand more about myself, and I understand more on what I respect about people. At the end of the day, I do not take your money. I'm not getting any benefit from your fame. And your music and my music are not the same.
Literally.
So at the end of the day, the only thing I love about you is who you are, really, as a human being. At the end of the day, when all the trophies are kept in the garage and you and I sitting at the porch and you and I having a conversation, I want to hear the truth coming out of your mouth, even though it's to your detriment. You can say to me that, oh, I did that back in the time to make money. Oh, I did that in the time to get the fame I need to excel in my career. But at least you were being honest with me.
Yeah.
That's who I want to hear.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think that's definitely something that's going on around modern media, is like people are becoming titans based off of things that don't really define their character, and they get stuck doing something like that too. You know what I mean? Have you ever like prank videos, or you know, or like it's like a YouTuber getting stuck playing video games like as their main source of income? If there's somebody who doesn't really like that stuff, and then they're the real person in them once they boot up a stream or something is totally different than someone behind the camera. I mean, 9 times out of 10 is it's not going to be well for who they are actually as a person. You know what I mean? It's like you're making money doing something that you don't like, so your interest is going to be much lower over time. You know what I mean? Yeah, and especially looking into the future, you'll find yourself maybe not even being happy at all. You know, looking back at it at that moment. Hopefully, wherever this person is, they'll be much greater. You know what I mean? And like actually like what they do with their life. But I think it's important. I think it's authenticity. Like I said before, being true to who you are and what your interpretation of life is and how music has served you. You are charged as an artist. It's your responsibility to serve others. You know what I mean?
I do believe that in the future, the music will become more exclusive and more premium, while the artist access is more available. So in the future, you can talk to me at any time. You can talk to an AI version of me, call me, or contact my company or any people to get to me, to get to know me as we in the flesh.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to my product, you will have to pay a hefty price to experience what I have to present, what I have to offer. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, which I don't really vibe with. You know? It's the way that the future is going for sure. There. I mean, it's already like membership platforms, premiums. Those are the things that are happening now. But I think music accessibility is something that should never really be monetized, right? Because I mean, think about where music was for you when you were growing up. How pivotal music was as a backbone. Like for me, I was playing video games and I was humming the soundtracks. It got me through certain levels, and it also got me through certain situations in my life. Like I remember going into my room, you know, maybe had an argument or something, or had some sad experiences and stuff, and I would just put on music and cry sometimes, right? Like it could be an escape for somebody's emotions. It could be so much more. And once the premium label tag comes on it, it becomes more, it blocks the effect that music could have on somebody. It is the future, but what we should do is we should protest the change of that. You know what I mean? As an artist, we're gonna make money. Not saying all artists are gonna make money from music, but it's like the way that AI is going right now. People are gonna appreciate more human works, you know, because then they'll start seeing AI has its 500th symphony, right? I feel like that's gonna be a headline in the next 10 years, right? 20 years. It's like AI has used so many resources to make this music, you know, but where is like the next Beethoven? Where is the next Bach? The next Brahms? Or like the next Taylor Swift? Like, you know what I mean?
So how would you change this obstacle that you see that is presenting to us? Is because I do agree with the premium tax for professional reason, because it costs X amount of money to make a product.
Definitely.
So to make a living, truly make a living, you have to make a profit on top of whatever product that you are selling or whatever service that you are offering, right?
Yeah.
But I do believe in the aspect of philanthropy. I do believe in that kid that is 8 years old in the bedroom listening to a music soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because I was that kid. I was the kid that listened to the music and be like, oh man, I don't have a lot of dollars, but this music is changing me day by day. The more I listen to it, the more I grow up to believe in the world full of rainbows and sunshine, and it's keep me through the days, right?
Yeah.
I do believe in that. I do believe in that. I think in my thought of to fix that issue is I'm doing it right now with my show. And I tell that to my bandmates, is that for every successful show that I do, after that, we're going to use an X amount of percentage of the money that we make. Like all of them will get paid on their contract.
Yeah.
They pay exactly what they get. But I, personally, I will get a portion of my own money. And I will go out and do philanthropy work, like go into a high school and buy instruments for the kids, put on a free show in a nursing home,
Definitely.
go to places that people don't have the access to the music, and then give them the music and educate them about the matters, educating about the message that I'm talking, educate them about the importance of art in their life and how it could help them live a better life. I believe in that. But I don't believe in sabotaging the price of everything. Because if it costs you 5 years to write a symphony, and the moment you finish your symphony and bring it to a publisher and say, man, I'm so happy and I can't wait to sell my symphony and make my money, the publisher look at you and say, okay, Joshua, I'm only pay you 1 cent per copy. How about that? Because you said you want music to be accessible for everyone. And even if you sell 1 million of the copies of your music, you barely make enough money to live.
Yeah, I know.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I understand at that point, and the way that you're choosing to mitigate it is definitely honorable. I feel like everybody has a different reason to live and make music. I think I'm one of those people that think if you primarily choose to make music to make money, if that's one of your main reasons to make music, then it's going to be hard for you to find your own space, find that network. I mean, well, you can find that network easily, but the question is, will it be sustainable and successful for your sake? You know what I mean? For me, the way that I mitigate it is something that I do is I make concerts, right? We all make concerts. We go there. For now, I'm probably not thinking about charging, but what I'm doing is I'm getting the experience from people. So I go and I talk to audiences and I make connections to make appearances at these places, and then essentially just to give back, and not really worry about like when the next paycheck is gonna come my way. You know what I mean? It's like you'll find it. I feel like if you're finding music, you're going to find the right circles. If you're finding the music that you really want to play, the things that you really want to do, you're making connections with people who appreciate that. You know what I mean? And that's where you'll get your extra resources from.
I'm agree.
Yeah, the people who appreciate music itself is the people that you find in the back of the audience, the people that you talk to, who know exactly what you're thinking, you know? Like that's going to be your way to make life successful for yourself. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals and surrounding yourself with that industry is going to make it easier for you to be, and you can be yourself at that moment. You don't have to shill and be like a greedy or something else. You know what I mean?
I don't believe in artists being poor. That's why I was a little bit more rough and spitting, hard truth fact about the matters that happen in the industry. But I'm full-hearted with your beliefs. Because you and I, when we sit down on our working table, when I write a piece of music, I'm not just writing so that I can pay my rent. I'm writing it because I can't wait to play it for the people that will feel the same way as I do when I play this piece of music, when I write this piece of music. And I can't wait to live in that world that I'm going to create. Yeah. I'm excited like that. You see what I'm saying?
And it's another thing entirely. Like, I lost my train of thought, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Just like finding works you're passionate about and performing them for people who are like-minded, and just not even just like-minded, just the experience of music itself can change a lot of things for a lot of people. So when you wall it off and you close it off, it feels like often like you're abusing music itself. Like it's only privileged for these people who can afford it, right? Like the Taylor Swift $3,000 experience, right? Maybe there's a YouTube video out there and somebody's already capitalizing on your $3,000 experience. You know?
I feel that's not the way that like unblock all of your access to experience my music, because right now you can listen to her music for free.
Yeah, well...
You see what I'm saying? So it's not really totally blocked.
Yeah.
You pay the premium for the premium live concert. So that is our bread and milk, steak and potatoes. That is like our main piece of income of how we live our life as an artist, as a musician.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to give the music to the people and to market advertising the music is open for everyone. Everyone can listen to the music.
Yeah. Totally.
But people have to pay to come see you play.
Yeah.
Or else you go broke.
Yeah.
You haven't eaten in 5 days.
I think that also that's what I was going to talk about. Just like the reason why we do music. It's a part of our livelihood. I think it's always going to be a part of our livelihood that we need in this society. We need money to survive. Right?
Correct.
Fortunately, it's like that's how the system is built. But it's also like a big thing that we separate that need for our ability to create. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's like, I mean, it's hitting around the same point that we've been talking about, right? Like writing music because we want people to experience it rather than worry about the price tag that comes. And the price tag is something that, I mean, if it's the U.S.'s dollar, it's going to be paid to the U.S. anyways, right? So the most important thing is that, I mean, it's something that I live by, is I live by the experiences. I live off of the experiences of other people. When they come to hear me play, they say, oh my God, it feels so good and it sounds great. And I cried because it reminded me of this and I feel this way about it. And I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't, if $5, it's going to happen. Like, you know what I mean? $5 is going to fall in your lap. You're a musician. Really, you'll get paid, right? But
I think your world is so beautiful is because it's true. It's not fantasy. It's true. I see your point of view of an artist who is passionate about his music. You believe a good piece of music, a good performance of a piece of music will sell itself to the right people, and that people will pay you an appropriate amount of money for your hard work on that piece of music.
Yeah, and it's like living your life for a price tag will never really satisfy you as an artist, right? But how many concerts that we get, especially as a classical musician, how many concerts that sometimes we're able to net. It's like sometimes you'll be playing pieces you don't even like.
Oh God, no!
Yeah, like when your private lesson teacher tells you to play this piece that's super like we played today. We played this piece by Amy Beach that was dug up. It's called Old Chapel Hill or something like that. It's super chromatic. The kids, they didn't like it. You know what happened to the performance of it?
What happened?
It suffered, right? You know, it's one of those things. It's like there are going to be tons of concerts where you play music that you find, if you're playing for other people, like playing for, let's say somebody hired you, right? You're going to find that there are some opportunities that you didn't like the music, but what you're doing is you're not doing it for yourself. That's the thing you have to realize. Yeah, I'm getting paid for this gig, but I need to sell this experience to these people. Even if I feel like this music is like totally beneath the level of expectation that I, as an artist, believe I should have. I need to find the reason why this is special for me. And I want to share that with you. And that's going to, overall, if you keep doing that, it's going to net you more of an outcome.
And I love that. I love that. You know why? Because you are a skilled player. You are someone that can play difficult music. An amateur player, I don't think can play as well as you, Joshua. I don't think so. I don't think an average person can come in and sight read as good as you and deliver on the spot like that. I don't think so. And remember, good warrior, great players need to be present on a big enough stage so you can shine with your talent. And I believe in that with all my heart because I'm a trained player too. for a musician to totally shine, and this already been solved before. We just didn't pay attention in our Dr. Dot class where we study music history.
His class was really long. Let's just be real. Like,
I know. We try to put how many years? Like 500 years of music into a 2.5 hour class.
There's a lot of like kids these days, like at least in our generation, like going forward, it's like the online is a big thing, so the attention span is way lower than what
we just like.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like what you do. Sometimes you find yourself what you do before you sleep. You scroll, right? I mean, it's like that stuff has a deeper effect on the mind than we actually give it credit for, and it's to our hindrance, believe it or not. It robs us of that interest and prolonged attention span, right? Definitely. We're watching like 5-second videos, 10-second videos now.
That's right. We can't even stand it if the hook is not good.
Yeah.
The first second is not good, we scrolling. 1 second. You have 1 second to convince me. 1 second. You have 1 second, sir. No more than 1 second.
Yeah, imagine what that does to the concert artist, right? Like entertaining. If you've tried entertaining kids as a performer of classical music or any type of music, it has to have a hook at least every 5 seconds. Right? there's gotta be something.
Or just hold the phone and then play music at the same time. 2 screens.
Yeah. No, it's so funny. I have some friends of mine, the Ballard Day Quartet. I don't know if you know of them. They play tons of quartets everywhere. They're amazing. But they had a video of them playing, and on the half of the video was Subway Surfer, on the bottom was them playing.
Oh,
I can tell you videos I've seen of just like random theory facts, like with Subway Surfers in the background, but I've never have seen like a string quartet or something with it. So when I saw that, I just busted out laughing. I was like, "There's no way they're selling."
It's just the fact that we has become so distracted, we can't even concentrate on one thing and one thing only.
Impossible.
That is why I'm doing these podcasts, Joshua. You see, like you and I, we being able to keep our interest running for hours now.
Yeah.
And we still want to talk more and more. Why? Because we are talking about something that we love, something that we actually live by, and creating real value in our society.
Literally.
We are passionate about this, you know what I'm saying? And I'm truly believe that we have to position ourselves right. I don't believe in Joshua gonna buy a $30,000 viola playing a $5 gig. Yeah. That's no way. There's no way he's gonna get that. But will his performance become 10 times better when he can play on such a well-made instrument? Yes. And I want, Joshua to have that instrument. So I have to request our customer to give him the opportunity to play for that. You see what I'm saying?
But wouldn't it be so interesting, though? Like, somebody who has the caliber of, like, an amazing, like, S-class level musician, right? Who, I mean, concert stages and galore, would love to have him. But he isn't really worried about that, right? He's focused on the little girl in the corner who wants to learn about music, who wants to provide. And concert stages are going to be in the future, right? For people who are totally passionate and really want that $30,000 viola is sitting somewhere or waiting for me to get my hands on it, right? But right now, my greatest interest, instead of playing and performing on the stages, right? This is something I'm going to do, but it's cultivating music and giving it to people that need it, right? All people need music, but it's like giving it that special attention to somebody who maybe feels lost, somebody who's hurt, somebody who's happy, somebody who's amazing.
Play the alto theme music.
Yeah, I know, right? created for the concert halls and for the benefit of everybody. You know,
It's not right or wrong, Joshua. I'm just saying my perspective because I am specializing in one sector of the music game.
yeah,
I'm optimal for the best of the best and the latest of the latest. So I, as a professional, I don't want to compromise the quality of the music or the performance
definitely.
by cutting it cheap or not giving you what you need to carry the job.
Yeah, not even like a separate occasion. You know what I mean? Just like instead of like the concert, like I said, the concert halls are going to be there, right?
Correct.
They're going to get their artists. They're going to get the people who are their S tier artists. They're going to look for those types of people. But I feel like the most valuable concerts are the ones that are done in the sanctity of a personal, like the personal. You know what I mean? Like the 20, maybe even the 40, but like the people who really need that music now. That's where the true experience lies. And it's like those people who feel your music in you more than possibly the person who paid the premium price tag. You know, it's like you can get that audience if you can come to know that audience and foster a community, right? It's gonna serve you longer. Like I think that's what Taylor Swift kind of did. Let's just be real. You know what I mean?
There we go.
Fostering the experience, rather than fostering the people who want. You know, the people who want it are the people who are gonna be in the community anyways, right? But building that community from the ground up, like, that's the most important part for me, right? So, I think the concert stages will have me at some point. They will need me at some point, right? It's an inevitability that somebody who has talent or who really wants to do this, they will get there if they pursue it. Seek, you will get, right? Everything you seek. But I think just that for art itself, it serves multiple purposes, and what you define that purpose is. I mean, for being serving the best of the best, like you said, the best of the best. That's the way that you optimize your engine to work towards something like that.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's why I think this podcast is a good idea, that you're interviewing artists, because you're taking all of those different perspectives. You know,
right.
Multiple. I mean, you could find someone who's totally like on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Because somebody's like, okay, well, I need to be the best because maybe there's like a situation that needs to be fixed, and I need the money in order to do this. And you know what I mean? Versus
especially if you're gonna get it there to get a doctorate degree, you're gonna need that paycheck. Folks are gonna chase your ass.
Not cheap. U.S. government might be on my tail in the next couple of years. Let's just be real. But yeah, you'll find it that if you're pursuing the things that you want, it'll come to you. Yeah. Don't try to force yourself out of it, you know?
No. I feel like because we love each other so much and we never disrespect each other's dream and beliefs. It's not, like I said, it's not about right or wrong. It's more about when to do what.
Yeah.
When everything is good, like right now, my engine can work really well. But when it's time to a little bit harder, when people need the music more, then they can actually afford to go such a concert. Do I have the ability to bring that music to my people when they need it?
Yeah.
That is the good question.
Yeah. My $3,000 concert.
That's right. And now I'm willing to play it for a $3 concert because all the kids were having a rough time at the school that got flooded.
Yeah.
As a human being, I still have the heart to do such thing. In a professional world, I'm standing on that high ground of selling that $3,000 show.
Definitely.
But on a regular day, at fans to fan, fans to me, people to people, if my fan screaming, hey, I really want to see you, I really want to hear you play. But so many of us are not able to afford that yet.
Mm-hmm.
It is my responsibility to foster my community.
Definitely.
So they can one day afford such a price tag with no question. Right now, maybe all they can do is $3.
Yeah.
I cannot tell them to, don't pay rent this month and go see me. That's ridiculous. That is, I'm not caring about them. I'm not caring about their well-being. I'm just caring about money.
Yeah.
Not just for the money, straight up.
Yeah.
But because I care about them, that's why I'm doing shows. The expensive show for those that already have the money and want to experience the best of the best. I'll serve you.
Yeah, definitely.
On my best ability. But for those that cannot yet, I will make way to nurture you, to foster you, to become a person who can afford such a ticket to try my top tier experience. That's why I'm making content. That's why I'm teaching people about things that they should know so they can transform themselves to become a better human being, a better person, work harder on their job, make more money, live better lifestyle, stay more in shape, eat better. So I'm nurturing my fan base from the ground up.
Definitely.
So I'm doing what you said, exactly like that. I'm doing what you said.
Literally.
But in the real sense of business, to keep my engine running, I need to keep pouring gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
So these gasoline are coming from the people that already there, that already have the money to pay for my service.
Yeah.
And then when the engine is running cool, I'm letting everybody else hitchhiking.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Those that cannot afford it yet. Literally. And they say, I really want to hop on the ride too. I'm saying, there's room in the back. Come on. Yeah. No problem.
For real. Yeah.
So I'm not lefting anybody behind. Mm-hmm. I'm just picking them off one station and one station at a time. As we grow, as I get more good at my job.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think you're doing that for yourself too.
Yeah.
You're playing for people that can pay you now, so you can get some money, and then you foster the girls that watching you from the corner, because she was shy to come over there and actually see you up front.
Definitely.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that world is such a beautiful world. I'm telling you, music gonna be everywhere.
It already is. I feel like it ain't.
Like meaningful music, like the dream that you want to live. You play in front of 40 kids, and all of them are watching you without staring away. They just watching you like this for hours. They're not running anywhere, and all the kids are having fun together. Listen to you. That is an obtainable dream. It's not a fantasy.
It was awesome.
Don't let my vision discourage people or separate you that you are not as good because you're not making enough money. Like I said, the money is equal to the amount of quality you can putting out.
Yeah. Definitely.
So it's not really a thing to say that you are not a great human being because you not have a lot of money. You are a great human being right now, even though you and I, we don't have much money. Money don't change us. Money just amplifying us. That's why I'm saying, at the end of the day.
Influences. If you allow money to influence what you do, then that's where you start to change. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's where it starts. It's always the influence. It's like you have the power to make that be the influence for you or not.
Correct. You have the choice.
Yeah, you really do. Especially in the world these days, they kind of need it, right? So that's a different thing. But it all depends on what you bring to the table and what you believe. Mm-hmm. You know
what I want to see is you live out your beliefs. That's the ultimate dream that I want to see from Joshua.
Okay.
I want he to live the way he wants to live. And actually stand on business when someone tries to attack his dream.
Okay. You too. I'm looking at you.
That's right. You see what I'm saying?
I've been seeing what you're doing, and I think it's really cool. Keep it up. Like I feel like you're really changing people's minds about things. You know?
I can't wait to someday just to see a fan running up to me in a grocery store and say, "Oh, you that guy? Oh, you that
guy?" One day it's gonna be a real thing.
It is. It's gonna be so fun that person will realize that I seeing Wee Mai as a human being. I'm not seeing him as a pop star. I don't see him as a fake entity on the internet. I'm actually have an interaction with a human in flesh. You know, I can actually shake his hand, and I can actually understanding the way he rolls, the way he speak, the way he talk, the way he live his life.
Yeah.
And that inspire people to make more meaningful choices in their life. I believe right now, I learned so many things doing music, you and I believe that we should not, if right now you have to go back to school again, and I have to go back to school again, and if somebody said, what is the thought come to your mind when it comes to picking your career? I would say that don't pick a career that will not let you live the way you want to live.
Totally. Yeah.
It's ridiculous to advise someone to buy a house inland when they wish to become a sailor boat.
Yeah.
Like it does not make sense the way that we constructing our society that say only a certain crafts are in need. So if you want to make money, you should learn them even though you don't like them. I'm saying it doesn't matter. If you're anti-social, it's nothing to care about.
Yeah, literally.
I want to see more people, more young people like us making decisions based on a long vision of what kind of lifestyle I want to live. If I am a kind of quiet person and I want to work, on a farm, then maybe engineering in farming and agriculture is what I should after.
Yeah.
Because that career served my dream lifestyle.
Literally.
Not because it's making me money. I don't give a damn about it's making me money or not. I'm worrying about it serving me to get closer to what I really want deep down in my heart.
Yeah. Definitely.
Then the money gonna come. It doesn't matter a lot or little. It will be there enough for me to live that dream. Definitely. When you place too much of the number, like we're talking about, getting all the music blocked away, and don't have the accessibility to everyone. Yeah. Like I said, professionals say we have to make profit, but when it comes to playing music to people, there's always a way.
Yeah, there's always
a way. Even just break even. We're not gonna become millionaire. We only make like $40,000 a year, but we living the way that we want to live. Totally. We're doing the thing we want to do, and not a single moment in our days that we feel like, man, I feel like I don't want to do this. I regret doing this. Like we never say anything like that. I want more people to understand that so they don't be fooled. When they see me putting on a suit and going to fancy places, they said to me, oh, the only thing that I get out of music is I'm going to get rich doing music. That's why so many rappers go into rapping, because they saying rapping will get them out of the hood. Yeah. But it's not. It's not the truth. Many of these artists are on the debt. They borrow from record label.
Yeah, they do that, and then there's a lot of things that go into success, right? Like what we talked about. There's the ambition, there's the ethic, there's the work, and then there is the experiences that come along with that, right? I think those are the main things that make an artist. If you have those attributes are pointed towards a specific direction, you'll be able to achieve what you want to achieve. But if you don't really push yourself in that regard, even if you borrow from a record label, right, you're going to end up having to pay the money back like quadruple the times. You're going to be spending more resources and all that stuff than you've ever thought possible without any of the want to continue. You're just stuck in a hole.
That's right. Like you dig a hole that you cannot get yourself out. And you don't even know where you are when you're in that hole. It's like, why am I even doing this? Like, I'm miserable as hell.
Like credit card debt, really. It's really debt. That's what it is.
All debt, all financial instruments are not bad if you know how to use them for the right purposes.
Yeah.
That's why we took on student loan. is because we invest into ourselves to become someone that we couldn't be without an education.
Literally. Yeah.
See? So we see that as a valuable investment. And we're willing to pay the money back when we become a professional player.
Totally.
And we're okay with that. But if we borrow $40,000 to buy a dumb chain and then go to a gas station and then get robbed, then we're gonna be miserable.
You can't get yourself out of $40,000 hole unless you're already that person.
That's right. If you're not being able to make that much money, you will be stuck in debt for the rest of your life. And your life gonna be so hard that you're gonna, wanna end it.
Oh no.
That is so bad. So many people are doing that because they chasing the flash.
Yeah.
But not the light source.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. They're not chasing the real reason. They're just chasing the dream of being rich.
That's right. That's scary. That's scary.
Yeah, for real.
I don't care. Like I said, I'm not worrying about right now, even right now, and 20 years from now. Even if I'm a millionaire already, I'm still talking to you to know that are you the person that holding good values? Are you a good person? Like, that's what I want to know. I don't care how much money's in your bank account.
Yeah.
Because I don't use your money.
It's something that it ties into this thing, and I think this is the last thing I'll say. That people say it all the time. It's like the love of is the root of all evil. Basically meaning that you are more than the sum of your talents. That being said, is that you love music, right? Like people who compose music, people who play music, they love music and they obsess over music. But if they choose to allow music to forcefully dictate, like, you know what I mean? Like the love of music to the point where you're not thinking about the people, yourself, and also how you show yourself, how you show that music and taking time. It's more about the other people, you know what I mean? And yourself. The music is going to be there. You're going to love the music, right? But if you sort of the love of that music rather than the love of the experience of everybody, you know what I mean? Who you're inviting into that experience, that's going to be your downfall. The love of chasing women in chains and all of that stuff that happens over that's what takes people out of that experience of becoming a real artist, right? Like so you're more than the sum of your talents. That's what a person is. What I think a real person is somebody who exists in multi realms of existence. It's like you're you, right? You're also connected to you as a performer. You're also the person who gets up and waters your garden in the morning, or you're the person who puts the recycling in the recycling bin. You know what I mean? It's like you're connecting with people, you're doing things, and then you're doing music as well. They're all related, but they're multifaceted. It's like I love music, but I'm a reader. I love reading. Right?
Oh yes. oh yes.
I love studying. I love biking. I love cooking. Like, you know what I mean? It's like we're faceted people, and we have good morals, right? We care about the person, the next door neighbor across the street, or the person who's having a good day, the person who's not having the best day. You know what I mean? It's like that's the type of artist that I think that's what people should be, or that's my opinion of what a good person would be, and that's my opinion of how an artist should live. In my opinion, in my personal visage, how I present myself as an artist is authenticity.
Yes, sir. I think that's lovely. Because any more than that, we're gonna have serial music, and that music sucked.
Music math, huh?
Joshua, it was a good time talking to you, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go doing what you love most, which is playing the music.
Yeah, well, first I gotta eat first.
Joshua the cook before Joshua the musician.
I mean, I love food. That's another thing, right?
Hey, God, I'm in my mind somehow. I'm already ate, so I'm not really hungry. But I feel like you should try some Indian food this week.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of. You know, my favorite. I like naan, which is the bread. I love garlic naan. Oh my gosh, have you
Garlic
had it?
naan and curry. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
That's good food right there. I'm gonna
That's
get
right.
because you told me I'm gonna get some this week. Yeah.
All right, Joshua. Thank you so much to be on the show.